I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. Oh, I didn't see you come in, so I guess you want to hear my story. I remember it like it was yesterday. July 25th, 1941. A Friday. That's the day Emmett was born. And the fact that my mother had took me to the hospital that Wednesday tells you all you need to know about Louis Till. Mississippi was a place that we dreadfully tried to escape. But I just didn't understand why Emmett wanted to go there so badly. I kept trying to explain to him that Mississippi wasn't like Chicago. So finally in the summer of 1955, I gave in to the begs and pleas that Emmett had about going to Mississippi. Before I put my baby on that bus, I said, Emmett, you be nice and you be kind. You say yes, ma'am, and you say no, ma'am, and you say everything with a smile. He agreed. That call you asked, I remember like it was yesterday. August 25th, 1955. A Sunday. Aunt Lizzie had called me. And all I can remember saying was, what mean? Girl, where's my baby at? Girl, where's my boy? Listen, as Miss Mamie Till-Mobley explains about the tragic death of her 14-year-old son Emmett, the hate crime that changed America, the approved murder in Mississippi, Death of an Innocent by Miss Mamie Till-Mobley. As I hung up that phone that day, all I had now was hope. Hope that Emmett was okay, or hope whoever had him will bring him home, or hope he was just pulling one of his pranks. But as I looked over at Mama, she had already given up hope. See, she stayed in Money, Mississippi before, and she knew exactly what it meant when a white man came to your house in the middle of the night. And Lizzie told me that Friday, Roy Brown and his cousins came into my uncle's house, and they took Emmett off the bed. And they threw him into the back of the truck with the 75-pound gin fan sitting next to him. And they drove him to the banks of the Tallahatchie River. They beat him. They shot him. And they tied that 75-pound gin fan to his neck with barbed wires. And they threw him in the Tallahatchie River. When they found his body, his face was so mutilated that we didn't even know who he was. But see, Aunt Lizzie knew, because of the ring that I had given him before he left. It had his father's initials carved into it. L.T. Emmett loved this ring so much. Anyways, the cardinal said that his body had to be buried as soon as possible. But I'll be damned if they buried my only son in Mississippi. The cardinals agreed, but under one condition: if the box was never to be opened. I agreed. On September the 2nd, I arrived at the bus station. Not to pick up the child that I dropped off a few weeks ago, but to receive his body. When I saw that box, it was a big stick on the front that said, "Signed and sealed by the state of Mississippi, was not to be opened." See, I hadn't signed nothing. Sue me. If I had to open this box with a hammer, it was going to get opened. But when I opened that box, God, if you could have seen what I saw when I opened that box. His face. God, if you could have just seen my baby's face. These monsters had taken a meat cleaver and they banged in his nose. They had taken a hatchet and cut him from ear to ear, because the back of his head, it was detached from the front. And his eyes. God, if you could have just seen my baby's eyes. One of them was gouged out, and the other one was hanging on by a nerve. They killed my only baby because he whistled at a white woman. She said that this happened because earlier that day, Emmett and his cousins had went into a local grocery store and bought a piece of candy. One of the boys had dared Emmett to whistle at the clerk. Emmett wasn't one to give up on Dales, and I knew that. And that was the night that Roy Bryan came into my uncle's house. And they tied that 75-pound gin fan to his neck with barbed wires. On September the 6th, I buried my only son, where I had a open casket ceremony so that the whole world could see what hate had did to my baby. And do you know, on the same day, a 12-man all-white jury acquitted Roy Bryan for the death of my son. So they didn't have enough evidence. And it was exactly 100 days later that Rosa Parks sat on that bus. Not because she was tired from working. It was because she was tired of what was going on in this world. But hey, even though justice wasn't served for me, I, Mamie Till-Mobley, can go to sleep every night knowing that Emmett doesn't have to deal with the troubles of this world. Soon it will be done with the troubles of this world. I'm going home to live my Lord.